Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, we're going to implement a system for multiple character actions. We now have a state manager system, but the state manager won't cover everything. We need a system to help us manage the different actions our character can perform. So the first thing that we're going to do is, let's go to Blueprints, Enums, let's create a new enumeration. We'll call this one E underscore. And the first action will be nothing. And the next thing we're going to do is add the different kinds of attacks. Light attack, strong attack, charged attack, and falling attack. We will implement functionality for these other types of attacks later. And also dodge, enter combat, and exit combat. Select save all. Okay, in combat system blueprints components, let's open up the state manager component, and we can add the functionality for character actions here. Let's add a new variable, search for action, this current character action. And we'll make this variable private, and let's create a function to set the current action. And we'll call this one new character action. And we'll do the same thing that we did for states. If the new character action is not equal to the current character action, then let's create a couple dispatchers. On character action begin. On character action end. Okay, let's add an input to on character action begin. We'll add the character action. Same thing for on character action end. And if they're not equal, then we need to end the current character action. And then after that, we need to set the current character action to the new character action. And then call on character action begin. Okay, now we need to create a getter function to get the current character action. We need to make this a pure function, and if you want, we can do something similar to this one as well, is current action equal to any. Add an input of top character action, and we need to make this into an array. Call this action to check. Contains item. Does this array contain the current character action? And we need to make that pure. File and save. Now you might be wondering, why do we add character actions? Couldn't we just add more states? The reason we added character actions is because the character can have multiple actions that all share the same state. For example, you can have a light attack, heavy attack, strong attack, etc. And all of those actions will need to share the same state. If, for example, all you need to know is if the character is in the attack state, then you would need to add checks for every attack type you add as a state. Also, if you wish to have some code that fires when the character enters or ends the attack state, you would have to copy and paste that code for each attack state that you add. So it is much easier to have the character actions be more specific and leave the state to be more general. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So go to the character blueprint and click on the state manager component. Let's add on character action begin and on character action end. And we can add switch statement to these. So you can have some different things happen when the character enters or leaves a certain action. I'm going to leave these switch statements here in case I want to use them later. And now what we can do is on perform attack, we can add an input. We'll make this action. And we'll move that to the top. We'll call it attack type. I know this is a character action and you can select different types of actions other than attack. So just be sure that you only select attacks here. If you wanted, you could even make a different enum for the attack types. Okay, now let's get our state manager component and let's set action. And get attack type. Okay, now go to perform dodge. And something else you can do as well if you want to. Here we can set character action. We can set action. We can set the current action here to enter combat. And here we can set the current action to exit combat. Okay, and whenever you reset the combat, we need to also set current action to nothing. Okay, now let's do action priority. So basically we prioritize certain actions over others. Let's go to our can perform dodge function and let's remove attacking. File and save, and let's see what result we get. And now you can cancel out of attack into dodge. And so what that means is that dodge has higher priority over attack. And I actually quite like that. I think it makes it feel a lot more responsive. So I'm going to leave mine that way. And let's go to jump, can perform jump, and let's remove attacking. So that way we can cancel out of attack into a jump. As you can see though, he's still playing out his animation. So what we need to do is go to the jump action here and let's stop anim montage. This will just stop whatever's currently active. As you can see now, the character can no longer attack. So what we also need to do is, whenever we stop the montage, we need to reset the character's state. Get the state manager component, and we can reset state. Okay, now compile and save, and let's test it out. And that works just fine. As you may have noticed, we have a result which you may not want, so whenever you attack and you cancel out into a jump, the attack isn't reset. So in this case, what you can do is, you can get the combat component and we can reset the attack. Okay, and something else that we can do is we can create a generic perform action function. And this function is going to be somewhat similar to the perform dodge function, so we can just duplicate that. And we'll rename this one to perform action. So instead of dodge montages, let's just create an input here. And we'll call this one action montages. Okay, let's add another new input, and we'll make this a type character action. And we'll add another input, and we'll make this one character state. So what we can do now is can set the state. Let's get character state and get character action. Plug character state into new state here. We're also going to need to call set current action. We'll plug in the character action here. We can delete that. The default state will be general action state. And actually, if we want to, we can go ahead and add a new action. We'll just call this one general action. And we can move this to be below the nothing action. And now the default action will be general action. And now what we can do is we can call the perform action. And here we can make array. We can plug in enter combat and exit combat. So now we no longer need to do this or this. We can simply use this new function that we created. And the character action can be enter combat here, and the character action here can be exit combat. Okay, now let's see if it still works. Yep, everything's still working just fine. That brings us to the end of this video. In addition to multiple character states, we now have multiple character actions, which allows us to manage and track more specific actions while keeping the states more general. We have also looked into how we can add some different kinds of priorities to the different actions the character can perform. Thanks for watching, and I hope you are looking forward to the next video where we cover multiple different attack types.